human interactions are not always innocent. Every day you walk through an invisible battlefield where people use hidden psychological tactics to control your emotions, drain your energy, and lower your status. Most people realize they are being manipulated only when it is too late. They become prisoners of guilt, validation, and anxiety. Our brains are hardwired to seek social connection, and toxic individuals exploit this biological vulnerability to rewrite your reality. But a high-value man does not play defense. Whereas, he masters the rules of the game to become completely unmanipulatable. In this video, we are going to break down 7 dangerous dark psychology games people play with you, the hidden mechanics behind them, and the exact strategic countermoves to reverse the power dynamics instantly. Watch closely, because number 6 is an addiction you might be suffering from right now. Game number 1 is Gaslighting, or reality distortion. This is a psychological weapon used by toxic individuals to make you doubt your own memory, perception, and sanity. When you confront them with a concrete mistake they made, they will confidently look you in the eye and say phrases like, "That never happened. You are imagining things. You are too sensitive." The psychological mechanic here is brutal and calculated. By destroying your trust in your own reality, they force you to rely entirely on their version of the truth, giving them total control over your mind and your choices. The counter move? Do not argue. Do not try to prove your memory or search for evidence. Maintain an absolute, cold frame. Look them directly in the eyes, let the silence get heavy, and say calmly, "We remember things differently, but my decision stands." Silence the debate immediately. When you refuse to doubt yourself, their illusion instantly shatters into pieces. Game number 2 is moving the goalposts. This is the ultimate game of endless validation seeking, often played by demanding bosses or toxic partners. In this scenario, someone sets a specific standard for you to earn their approval, respect, or affection. But the exact moment you achieve that standard, they secretly change the rules, raise the bar, and demand more. If you complete a difficult task at work, they completely ignore your success and focus on a minor flaw. If you sacrifice your time for them, they ask why you didn't do it sooner. The psychological mechanism is designed to keep you on a continuous, exhausting chase, making you feel perpetually inadequate. They want you hungry for their approval because as long as you are chasing them, they hold the throne of high status. The alpha response to this game is simple. Sash, drop the chase immediately. The moment you notice the goalposts moving, stop running. Say, "I am confident in the value I provided." If that is not enough, that is your problem, not mine. Walk away. When you stop chasing, they lose all their power. Game number 3 is the silent treatment. This is emotional isolation weaponized to punish your boundaries. When a conflict occurs, instead of communicating like adults, the manipulator goes completely cold. They ignore your messages, look through you as if you are invisible, and refuse to speak for days. The psychological goal is to trigger your primal fear of abandonment. They want the silence to become so heavy, toxic, and agonizing that your anxiety forces you to crawl back and apologize, even if you did absolutely nothing wrong. They want you to beg for their attention. To win this game, you must display absolute, unbothered indifference. Do not call, do not double text, and do not show a single drop of anger. Treat their silence as a peaceful vacation. Go out with friends, focus intensely on your goals, and behave as if their absence has zero effect on your universe. When they realize their ultimate weapon fails to cause you anxiety, they will be forced to break the silence themselves, losing all leverage. Game number 4 is love bombing followed by sudden withdrawal. This is a dangerous form of emotional conditioning. At the very beginning of a relationship, friendship, or partnership, they shower you with intense praise, constant attention, and fake affection. They make you feel like the most important person in the world. But once you become comfortable, attached, and emotionally dependent on that psychological high, they suddenly pull the plug without explanation. They become distant, cold, and highly critical. The psychological impact is identical to drug withdrawal. Your brain desperately craves the validation it was just receiving, making you willing to do anything to get that warmth back. Recognize this pattern early. If someone's affection feels too fast, too intense, and unearned, anchor your emotions. When they withdraw, do not panic or ask what is wrong. Match their energy step for step. If they become cold, you become a glacier. Never let another human being control your emotional thermostat. Game number 5 is playing the victim, also known as the guilt trip. Manipulators are absolute experts at shifting responsibility. No matter what damage, pain, or disrespect they cause, they will always find a creative way to make it your fault. If they betray your trust, they will say, you drove me to do it because you don't pay enough attention to me. If they disrespect you and you react with justified frustration, they will completely ignore their disrespect and focus entirely on your anger, calling you abusive, crazy, or unstable. The psychological mechanism here is weaponized empathy. They exploit your good conscience and high morality to make you feel guilty, successfully shifting the focus from their crimes to your defense. To defeat the guilt trip, apply cold, surgical logic. Separate your reaction from their initial action. Say firmly, "We are not talking about my reaction right now. We are talking about what you did to cause it. Answer the question." Do not accept a single gram of guilt that does not belong to you. Game number 6 is intermittent reinforcement. This is the exact psychological blueprint used by modern casinos to keep gamblers dangerously addicted to slot machines. If a machine pays out every single time, it quickly becomes predictable and boring. But if it pays out randomly, unpredictably, the brain becomes completely obsessed. Manipulators do the exact same thing to control your dopamine. They treat you well on Monday, ignore you on Tuesday, mistreat you on Wednesday, and then give you a magnificent gift on Thursday. This unpredictable cycle triggers massive spikes of dopamine in your brain, creating a powerful, chemical, and addictive bond to the manipulator. You stay trapped because you are constantly waiting for the next good day. Breaking this loop requires strict cognitive awareness. Realize that consistency is the only baseline for any healthy relationship or partnership. If someone's respect for you is random, their presence in your life must be terminated. Do not gamble with your mental peace. Game number 7 is the strategic insult, or negging. First, this is a highly manipulative technique designed to subtly lower your self-esteem so that you work harder to impress the manipulator. It usually comes disguised as a compliment or constructive criticism. They might say things like, "You did a great job on this project considering your complete lack of experience," or "That shirt looks surprisingly good on you." The psychological goal is to plant a seed of insecurity in your mind, making you seek their validation. The counter move is to shine a bright, uncomfortable light on their text. Ask for clarification with an absolute deadpan expression. Say, "What exactly do you mean by that?" Or simply smile and say, "Thanks for your opinion?" When you treat their subtle insult with complete, unimpressed boredom, the weapon backfires, leaving them looking small, insecure, and desperate. The ultimate shield against dark psychology is never anger. It is absolute awareness. Manipulators derive their entire power from your emotional reactions. The moment you become a cold, detached observer instead of an emotional participant, their games become completely useless. You become the master of the board. Protect your peace, guard your focus, and never let anyone master your mind. If you found value in this deep dive, hit the like button and subscribe to Alpha Mastery. Let me know in the comments which of these games you have witnessed in your life. Stay sharp, stay dominant.